Aloha everyone, so glad you made it to your practice. So for this practice, just make sure you have 2 blocks, a strap, and getting into something comfy. And if you love this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and to let anybody know about it. It really helps me create more content and be able to provide free yoga for you all. So much aloha to you, and I'll find you on your mat. Aloha, welcome to your YIN yoga class. My name is Nathie and I'll be guiding you today. Today's class is going to focus on the knees and part of the hips. So we're going to focus more on the lower body today. And really what we're trying to do is create more strength in the knees, open up the ankles, open up the hips, create space in our bodies so that we can have better mobility, better stability, and be able to do our everyday activities without feeling stiff or having a lot of pain. I will, excuse me, just recommend that you take a strap with you. That's absolutely needed. You need 2 blocks with you and a blanket as well. If you don't have one of these Mexican blankets, you can always grab a couple of bigger towels, anything you can fold and modify as needed. And I will bring these props up as we go in our practice. So I'll have you laying on your back. I'm just gonna start by finding ourselves in a reclined position. Laying down on your mat, extending the legs out, removing anything in the way that might prevent you from laying flat and enjoying completely letting go on the mat. And maybe resting your arms along your sides, opening them up to create space in the armpits. And maybe here it might feel good to you to just close the eyes, taking a moment to recognize your whole body, the current sensations in your entire body from the feet, through the legs, the front, the back, the knees, the hips, the pelvis, through the torso, the ribs, along the shoulders, down the arms, and into the throat, the back of the neck, all the way into the entire skull and your face. Bring awareness to how your lower abdomen and your ribs are feeling now. How your chest is feeling, the front, the sides, and the back of the ribs. And then we'll bring awareness to our breath, recognizing how we're feeling in all of our respiratory system, tracking it down through the torso into the lower abdomen. We'll do a few cycles of breath here to come into our bodies more. So I'll take a deep breath in here. And when you're ready, slowly exhale, maybe out the mouth or nose. Do this 2 more times here. Taking your time to fill all the way up As you exhale, relax the back of the body, the back of the head and the eyes. Inhale one more time, expanding the side ribs and the front ribs. Then maybe slightly sending the breath into the lower abdomen. And then exhaling, relaxing the abdomen and releasing all of the muscles in the ribs. Take 2 more breaths here, maybe cycling the breath, inhaling, thinking of the right nostril. Exhaling out through the left nostril. Inhaling, thinking of the left nostril. Exhaling out through the right nostril. Do this one more time. When you're ready, plant the soles of the feet down on the mat and draw the knees into the chest. Gentle hug, drawing the knees in. You can hold on to your shins, interlace the fingers. Just maybe rocking here side to side, giving an initial massage to the lower back, even maybe circling the hips with your hands on your knees. You can even widen the knees in your circles. Bring the breath down into the lower body. Notice how it feels when you create space with your breath. And then switch directions with the circling of the hips. You have options here to even flex and point the toes, starting to wake up the ankles. Moving organically. And then, when you're ready, grab onto the strap, the yoga belt and strap. Laying flat on the back or having a block underneath the head. You can choose to have your head supported on a block here. Bring your right knee into the chest. Wrap the belt around the ball of the foot. And then send the foot to the sky, reaching out of the right heel and flexing the toes towards your knee. Inhale. Exhale, slightly drawing the leg in as you relax the shoulder blades on the mat. Chin to chest to create space in the back of the neck. Take a few more deep inhales, lower down in the abdomen. And as you exhale, drawing the leg in slightly here without forcing too much, just a natural drawing in. Option here to extend the left leg out, reaching out of the heel, keeping the leg active, and then lowering the leg down on the mat. Starting to open up the hamstrings, the calves, the back of the ankles. Maybe here you'd like to sway gently side to side, or maybe even moving your foot on the belt side to side. Rotating the hip out and in a bit. Noticing how that feels in the hamstring and hip. And if you want to intensify here, press the heel up further to the sky, unbending the knee a little more, and then flexing the toes more deeply towards your face, and then drawing the leg in. A little shaking is normal. That's okay. Deep breaths here. Maybe if you'd like to close the eyes, to recognize sensation and maybe allowing you to deepen your awareness of the sensation in your body. And then grab the belt with your left hand, on both sides of the belt, keeping your leg exactly where it is. So try not to have your leg draw away from the face. Keep it at a 90-degree angle here. We'll start to draw the leg across the body as much as needed to start feeling sensation in the outer right hip, IT band, outer knee, outer calf, and outer ankle. Keep that right foot flexed towards your knee. Option to have the bottom leg bending. The knee can bend just like this. You can have a block underneath that knee. And start slowly here. So when you're crossing the leg, you don't have to go deep. Just notice where you're starting to feel the sensation. You can even put your right thumb in your right hip crease and press the hip down and away. And stay here for a few breaths. See how I put my knee, my bottom knee on a block and bent it? You can do that if that feels better for you. You can have another block ready right on the left side of you in case you want to start sending the leg down more, and maybe your leg will land on a block eventually. So just hold it here for another minute and recognize that deep sensation in the outer leg, outer IT band, the muscles that lead into the knee joint on the outside. Keep breathing here, keeping in touch with maybe allowing the breath to soften parts of your body that are trying to hold tension as much as possible. Soften your abdomen, your shoulders, your elbows, and your jaw. I'll slowly bring the leg back up to center. Bring the left foot back on the mat and then release. And we'll do this on the other side. So you can shift your body to the left side of the mat first. Bring your blocks to the right side just to prepare yourself. And we'll go on to the other side. Plant the soles of the feet on the mat. Extend the left leg up to the sky, wrapping the belt around the ball of the left foot. Then reach the foot, reaching out of the heel. Inhale. Exhale, and draw the leg in towards your chest. Taking a few breaths here. Relax the elbows. Allow the arms to relax here as you draw the leg in. Option 2, reach out of the right heel, extending the right leg out, and then lowering it down on the mat. And then you're reaching out of both heels here, very active in the thighs. And again, you can start to move the top foot side to side. You can even point and flex the foot. You can stay in one place that feels a little sticky to you. But keep breathing into that opening, allowing yourself the time to deepen that opening. And before you know it, you'll realize that you're somewhere very different than you were when you first started, whether it be in the actual physical leg or in your breath or your state of mind. Just focus here on the goodness that is happening here in your legs, in your muscles, and in your entire body. Again, you can sway the leg open and back, forward a little bit, kind of opening the hip up. And again, you have the choice here to keep the bottom leg extended, or you can just bend the knee, open the knee to the side, grab the belt with your right hand, and send the leg directly across your body without allowing it to fall away from the face. Keep it exactly where it is. And you'll notice if you do that, you probably won't be going down all the way. You're gonna already start feeling sensation in the outer left hip, outer left knee, IT band up into the calf and ankle before going all the way down. If you want to intensify a little bit, you can, again, bring the left thumb inside of the left hip, press the hip down and away from you as you draw the leg towards your face a little bit more. And if holding the belt with your right hand, the opposite hand to the leg, isn't working for you, you can grab it with the left hand. You can grab it with both hands, as long as the leg stays exactly where it is. Try not to have it come away from your face like this. This is away from the face. This is brought in towards the face, directly across the body. Take another minute here to take in the sensations in the outer hip without polarizing the sensation, nor good nor bad, just feeling what it is naturally for you now. And relax the jaw and your eyes, the muscles of the eyes, the cheekbones, and the forehead. We tend to want to grip in the face when something is uncomfortable a little bit. So you can allow yourself to just recognize what you're doing with your body and soften where you need to soften. On your next inhale, draw the leg back up to center, release the belt, release the foot back down on the mat. Heel toe your feet out, mat width apart, and just slowly windshield wipe the knees side to side. Inhale the knees to center, exhale them down. Inhaling them back to center, and slowly exhaling them down to the other side. Bring the knees back up to center. Press yourself up onto your forearms and come onto a seat. Have your blanket folded as is at the top of the mat. About maybe a quarter on the mat. A quarter of the mat covered in your blanket. Take your two blocks. And the blocks are optional here. Place one block so that it will support your back, and the other block that will support your head. I have them on the second highest setting. You'll want to maybe see if you need to modify that for yourself. We're going to go into half reclined hero pose on each side. If reclining doesn't work for you, you can stay seated. You can even sit on a block and then do half hero pose. So extend the right leg out and then shift your weight to the right side. Draw the left leg underneath to the side, right here, just like this, just like this. So that your ankle, the shin is flat on the mat. The toes are pointing back behind you. So your leg, your shin, your calf is slightly outside of the upper thigh. It's not directly tucked underneath. And you can stay here just like this. Or you have the option with blocks or with no blocks. Start to lower down on your forearms. Find the block with your back. Readjust it so that it's between the shoulder blades. And then find the block with your head. And you can lift the hips off the mat, send the tailbone towards the feet, and then lower the hips back down. For some of you, having your arms overhead or even grabbing onto the opposite elbows might feel really great for your side ribs, into the lats, into the armpits, and the triceps. So you can do that as well if that's accessible to you. And take a few breaths here, allowing yourself to melt into the blocks or into your mat. And feel here that blood, the circulation in the knee, in the leg is starting to get cut off a little bit. That's what we want, because when we release the leg, the blood will just flood back into the tissues, and it promotes healing of the tissues. So it's okay to have the sensation of sort of a slight decrease in circulation, as long as nothing becomes numb or painful. You want to just stay in a slight discomfort and maybe a pressure that's building up a little bit in the joint area. So here, the knee joint and the ankle joint are really feeling that. The quads are also being stretched a little bit in the hip flexors. The more you're down lower to the mat, the more you're going to feel the opening in the front body. And again, you can always change the setting of the block. So I'll show you here what you can do. You can take that second lowest setting of the block that was behind your back, flip it onto the lowest, and then lower down again to find yourself in a deeper reclined pose, changing the setting of the block. On your next inhale, bend the right knee, place the right foot onto the mat, and then press the hips down towards the top of the mat. So kind of sending the tailbone down towards the foot, drawing the abdominals in slightly and pressing the top of the hips up towards the sky. Try not to have that left knee lifting off of the mat. If you feel that happen, and if that happens often for you, you can set up a blanket underneath the shin from the beginning of hero pose. I'm going to stay here in silence for a few breaths. Relaxing the upper back and the neck. And when you're ready, take the left hand on the left foot. Start pressing the foot away and bringing the left foot onto the mat really slowly. And then start flexing the toes towards your ankle, towards your shin. Counter stretch here. You might want to flex and point the foot, extending the left leg out, bringing it back in slowly, bringing motion back into the knee joint here. Maybe you'd like to rotate the ankle now once you've done the forward pointing and flexing. Then we're going to press ourselves back on our forearms and onto our seat, and we're going to do the other side. Extend the left leg out. Bring your weight onto the left side. Take your foot with the right hand, your right foot with the right hand, and send it back behind you for half hero. So here again, the front of the shin, the front of the ankle is flat on the mat. Your calf is slightly outwards, away from the thigh. It gives room here for your knee to come in contact with the mat. The knee here wants to stay on the mat. Again, if you need a blanket underneath the knee here, now would be the time to put it. Option to stay here, just like this, seated on a block if need be. For some of you with deep knee issues, you can even sit on 2 blocks. That's okay as well. The higher you are, the more space and less pressure that's in the knee. But you might still have enough for your abilities at this time in your practice. So you judge whether or not you can go there or you need to scale back. And then when you're ready, for some of you, come down on your forearms, find the block with your back, and then readjusting the block, and then find the other block with the back of the head. Lift the hips, pull them down, and then lower them back down on the mat. Your right hand can even touch the foot. You can even massage the sole of the foot with your right thumb, fingers. If your foot is cold, you can place your hand on your foot if your hand is warm. And just allow the front body to melt. Maybe closing the eyes here, maybe having your arms opened away from the body. And recognize the sensations flooding into the joint, the knee on the right side. The tingling maybe in the ankle. And just breathe here. Now, this side might be different for you than the other side. If it is, and you're noticing now that you might be too deep, please listen to your body and come back out. Readjust yourself to where it's acceptable for you now. So maybe that means sitting back up. But in any case, keep connecting with your breath and relaxing into the lower abdomen and the back. Option here to bring the left sole of the foot on the mat, bending the left knee, deepening the sensation here. Option to lower the level of the block on the back actually not going to go there because I feel like on this side for me right now, it's not working. I'm going to stay on the higher setting of my block. It's a perfect angle for me here now. And then when you're ready, slowly take the foot with your right hand. Start peeling it back so that the sole meets the mat again in front of your thigh. And then slowly here, start flexing the toes towards your shin. And if this isn't accessible right away, maybe just extend the leg out, unbend the knee first as you start flexing the toes. And then bending the knee, pointing the toes. And then you'll find that flexing and pointing will start happening more naturally. And then here you can maybe rotate the ankle again. Some of you may have really stiff ankles or have had numerous breaks or sprains in the past, and there's some damage in the ankle joints. So take it easy here, take your time. When we've compressed a joint, we need to slowly allow the circulation to reoccur again, and the movement, the motion to happen naturally. And then here, I'm going to extend the legs out. You can shake, shake, shake here. And then option to bring yourself back up onto your sit bones. Release the blocks from underneath you. Bring them onto either side of your legs. And then lower back down onto the mat. With your back on the mat. Draw the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug here. Or maybe again swaying side to side. And then option to slide a block underneath the sacrum. The lowest setting or second lowest setting. And then just send the legs up to the sky in waterfall. And extend out of the heels, rotating the ankles in both directions, pointing and flexing the toes. And finding stillness here. Finding a place where your legs can hang naturally in the air without forcing. That perfect balance where it's so easy to have your legs just hanging there in the sky. Allow the blood to rush down into your pelvis, through towards the heart. Really good for stress relief, anxiety relief, general sense of ease in the body. And then bend the knees, slowly find the soles of the feet back down on the mat. Release the block from underneath you. Heel toe your feet out slightly and then windshield wipe the knees really gently side to side. Taking your time. When you lower the knees, keep them there for a breath. Notice how that feels into the side body, all the way into the side ribs, creating space in the hips and lengthening the muscles that connect to the knees, the quads. The vastus lateralis muscles, the sides of the knees. Inhale back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. And here you have the option to have blocks underneath the thighs. Supta Baddha Konasana. You can open the knees wide. The closer your feet are to your body, the more intense it may be in your inner thighs. So your choice to have your feet further away from you and have blocks underneath your thighs or not. We'll take a couple of minutes here in this final pose. You may choose to have your right hand on your lower abdomen and your left hand on your heart, recognizing the cycles of breath that are naturally flowing through you. Recognizing the space in your body to just be here now. Relax the jaw, maybe parting the teeth, allowing the tongue to rest on your palate. Feeling the breath flow freely through the throat. Maybe here visualizing the breath between the third eye and the throat. Moving back and forth in this bright light. And feeling the earth pull you down through the back of the neck, back of the head, the back of the shoulders, the heart. And whenever you're ready, you can stay here for your final Shavasana, or you can bring the hands on the outside of the thighs, draw the knees back to center, extend the legs out in front of you. You can maybe give yourself a final big reach if that feels good to you, pointing the toes, reaching, squeezing the thighs and the glutes and the abdomen, maybe even the fingers and the face. And then releasing all the effort in your final Shavasana. Letting go, allowing the feet to splay opened, the thighs just relaxing open, the knees relaxed, the abdomen relaxed, the breath effortless. Thanking yourself for showing up on your mat. Stay here for as long as you need. Mahalo nui loa for practicing here with me today. Namaste.